ILLYMATION is another animatory channels in YouTube that provides a lot of medical information and also some other topics. As a doctor, I have choose one chronic childhood illness. It's very common. This is asthma. Today I will watch it with you guys and I will give you react and detailed analysis. Hi, I'm Dr. SOURAV, currently at BSMCH Government Medical College, Medicine Department. Why to wait? Let's watch together.
Sick kid growing up. I was the one always having coughing fits. I was the one sitting out at recess. And for me, the common cold was common indeed.
It's quite common.
And part of this was because I have asthma. Every morning and every night, I had a few extra steps to my routine. Number 1, blow into this thingy to see how my lungs are doing. Green is good, yellow is not, and red means...
Okay, this is one kind of peak flow meter. Basically we use for the asthmatic patient to understand that how the severity of the asthma is. Basically peak flow meter and the intensive spirometry both are different. Peak flow meter we basically use for the asthma, and in that machines you had to exhale forcefully, right? Hold out your breathing forcefully, right? During your asthma, your respiratory tract getting very narrow and full of mucus, right? This peak flow meter useful to understand how much the narrowest respiratory tract is, right? Now if your exhalation force is much more enough, then it will be on the good, very good. The part will be this, the marker will be very higher. But if you cannot exhale properly, this marker won't pop up. It will be still in the lower level. So this is not good. The intensive spirometry, you have to take breath. You have to take your breath. You have to inhale, right? And there are 3 balls basically. As much as you can inhale, this ball will be pop up, right? We give it just for the pneumonia patient, right? The patient who have lung fibrosis. For those we give the intensive spirometry. This will do a different. This is basically a peak flow meter.
Take this girl to a doctor right now. Number 2, Advair. Hold the UF.
Yes, this is another medicine. This is the Advair, but not that much popular in our country, India, but in foreign it is very common now. But the composition is very useful. This fluticasone. Sometimes we have fluticasone inhaler too. So it contains fluticasone. It's one kind of steroid that useful for the asthma patient.
With 2 hands and breathe in that gritty purple stuff. Ugh. And lastly, take 2 puffs of the inhaler. Use a spacer to ensure you...
Okay, so this is an MDI. We call it metered dose inhaler. For the asthmatic patient, inhaler is like a very useful thing. A lot of composition it have. It have also steroids. It have a long-acting beta agonist like ipratropium, tiotropium. It contain formoterol, salbutamol, right? This kind of compositions it contains. Different patient, and we provide different type of inhaler.
You get all the medicine, and that was a lot to do as a kid. And even when I did those things, I still struggled to keep up with all the other kids at recess. So growing up with asthma, I often felt like a wimp. Until now, guess who was third in line for a vaccine?
The
wimp
with
life. Asthma. So, ha!
Even you are in the medication.
Obviously, I'm kidding. There's nothing fun about having asthma. And if you have it, you know that already. One sign of incoming...
Eczema, causing a dry skin, very itchy and inflammatory. Now the thing is that 3 things came very common: the eczema, the asthma, and the allergic reactions that we call the atopic triad. Basically, the eczema, one kind of dermatitis. Now there are a lot of type of dermatitis: contact dermatitis, atopic dermatitis, seborrheic dermatitis, like that. But eczema, basically an atopic dermatitis. Now, as a doctor, we even don't know what is the physiology about this atopic march or atopic triad. Basically, the thing is that if any one of these, maybe you have eczema, it will trigger the another asthma or the allergic reaction. So if you have asthma, it will also trigger the eczema or allergic reaction. It means any one of them, if you have it, have a high chance to trigger another disease. But the common thing is that these three diseases are basically inflammatory. How to stop? Give an anti-inflammatory drugs. That's it.
Childhood eczema often leads to asthma. Eczema is a skin condition where your skin can
Exactly.
become inflamed, scaly, dry, and super itchy for no reason at all. And when I was just a babe, it was all over my adorable little body. My mom often told me
And it
this
stays
story
for
where
long.
she was in Target with me, and some kid, bless his heart, said, "Mom, what's wrong with that baby?" My mom didn't think it was as funny as I do though, and it really upset her. Because I was being taken to a ton of different doctors about this, and nothing was working, until we saw one named...
Basically, it does not work for those like who are actually taking some medications like steroid. Although some dermatitis have the treatment of steroids, but if you are taking the prolonged type of steroids, basically decreasing your immune system, and basically it is high chance to get an opportunistic infections, even the skin infections too. Right? You have the asthma, you are taking a lot of steroids, right? Like Advair or like MDI also contain a lot of steroids. At that time, if you have any skin infection, you are taking medication, it will take a long time to get cured.
It really upset her, because I was being taken to a ton of different doctors about this, and nothing was working, until we saw one named Dr. Prose, who I allegedly called Dr. Prose. He was a cool guy. He gave me the proper care and treatment I needed, and he could wiggle his ears. Very cool party trick. And soon enough, my eczema was well treated and managed.
Exactly.
So now, kids don't point at me in public and ask their moms what's wrong with me anymore. But I'm lucky. Currently, eczema has no cure. It can only be treated with medication to make life a little less hard to live. My parents were relieved though, as it seemed all their worries about my health had subsided. But then, I remember one day in the summer before first grade, I was really out of it. I was at my after-school program / summer camp as usual, but I remember just sitting in a chair, feeling really sleepy and trying to focus on a light so I wouldn't fall asleep. I was tired, I had trouble breathing, and I was really weak. Eventually, I told my teacher I wasn't feeling good and asked if I could lay down somewhere. When I woke up, I could hear my teacher and my mom anxiously talking about me. My mom took me to the ER, I was admitted to the hospital, and we found out I had pneumonia.
Pneumonia. What is pneumonia? Pneumonia actually one kind of inflammations and the one kind of consolidations over the lungs due to some infectious agents. Right now, who are on the target to get pneumonia? First of all, who are smokers. For the childhood cases, they are not definitely smokers. Second thing, who are taking prolonged type of steroid stuff, because corticosteroids decrease your immune system, right? Prolonged corticosteroids can lead to get a pneumonia. Number 3, who have any other lung disease, like for these parks have an asthma, already they have a chronic pulmonary illness, and at that type of child or that type of patient are very likely to get pneumonia. Now there are different kind of pneumonia. There have lobar pneumonia, bronchopneumonia, there have interstitial pneumonia, so different type of,
which in simple terms is an infection inside your lungs. We also found
even
out
you have bacterial pneumonia,
I had
viral
asthma,
pneumonia. Now
meaning
nowadays
my
viral
airways were
pneumonia is
already
pretty common, like
susceptible to
COVID,
becoming
adenovirus,
inflamed or
and stuff.
filling with gross stuff. So the odds were not at all in my favor. My mom explained this to me in a way that I could understand as like a 5-year-old, but I still remember being really scared. Truly, it was a really scary time, but the ICU was pretty cool. ICU sadly does not stand for Illy Cinematic Universe.
No.
It stands for Intensive Care
Yes.
Unit. I remember the nurses taking my vitals and also pricking my finger to test my
Checking the
blood.
sugar,
I hated
RBS.
that part. But I got to watch any movie I wanted to from bed. My mom took me for rides around the hallway in a little red wagon. I learned the joys of eating crushed ice and green jello. I got to visit the hospital's little arts and crafts room to keep me busy. And every night, I got to watch the sunset from my bed. And after about a week in the hospital, I recovered well enough to be sent home. But again, that's when I had to blow into the thingy, take the Advair, do my inhaler, and some days were harder than others.
Advair,
My parents and I
MDI.
argued a lot to get me to take all these yucky medicines to keep me healthy or whatever.
We have to
But
keep
the
those
next
medications
summer,
always
hey
with you.
Liz, do you want to go to camp?
Whoa.
Camp? Like how all my friends go to camp every summer?
Exactly like that.
Yeah, I do.
So one summer, my mom took me to Camp Coast. It was a weekend retreat kind of thing that took place in Camp Don Lee. You know, the one down in Arapahoe, kind of near New Bern. Shout out to my North Carolinians. So we get down to the campgrounds, we've got the forest to our left and the ocean to our right, and my mom and I got the cutest little cabin in the woods.
Man, I wonder what we're gonna do first. Maybe we'll go swimming, or hiking,
Oh.
or maybe even fishing, or canoeing. I don't even know what a canoe looks like.
A lot of
Okay,
imagination.
everyone, what is this one called?
Advair.
And what does it do?
It relaxes the lungs to improve breathing.
Very good. Oh, a question?
Yeah, when are we gonna do camp stuff?
Oh, you silly goose. This is camp stuff. This is Camp Coast. We're here to help kids like you learn how to manage your asthma.
Exactly, it is happen like that. A diabetes camp, have asthma camp, have thalassemia camp. Basically, not only these
I
things,
wasn't at
they
any old
also do
camp.
a lot of
I was at asthma
funny things
camp.
too in the
I
camp.
didn't even know that existed. I was so mad. Like, what is this, some kind of punishment? You dangle the great outdoors in front of me and then hold us up indoors to learn how to breathe. I was sick of it. But that part ended and we got to go outside. We got to go swimming. We did arts and crafts. We learned about animals. I got to hold a snake or a turtle or something. And then asthma class again. Okay, everyone, what is this one called?
Peak flow meter.
Peak flow meter. I guess what I'm trying to say is, it really sucks being a sick kid. There's so much you want to do, and you want to do it,
Peak flow
but
meter
you
is
just
not a
can't
medicine, but
sometimes.
it's always
It can
have
make you
to
feel
test
weak
yourself.
or not as good as all the other kids.
How much severity
all because you have to deal with
have
something
for the
that you
asthma.
have no control over. And knowing that makes maintaining your health and taking your medicine just the worst. Because no other kid has to do this. But if you're anything like young me, I hope you come to understand what I did. You are strong, no matter what. But no one is invincible. And truly, the only perks of having asthma are having access to the proper healthcare you need to survive. If I wasn't this lucky
Yes.
and privileged enough to get the medicine I needed, I don't know if I would have made it back then. And
Asthma is a very old thing. This is the kind of respiratory issues, and any kind of respiratory issues is very, very, very old. Now, whenever it is for the child and it is chronic, we can understand that how much pathetic it will be, how much irritative it will be. Right. At the same time, when you are taking the medications to cure your asthma, also these medicines can cause some another opportunity infections, and you have to be aware for that. Now, they are child. They could not understand. They don't know how is the severity. But I'm telling you, all the parents, all their family members have to be very aware of it when they are taking any kind of medicine, or their child have in any childhood illness, chronic childhood illness. Their parents and family attenders must have to be very aware to take care of them. When they will go outside, they will meet with a lot of friends, and they will see that, oh, my friends doesn't have this issue, they don't need to take this medicine, then why I have to? They will feel very sad. So at the moment, their parents, their family members have to be with them to make them happy. Right? If you like this medical information and the reaction, like, share and subscribe. Put your comments in the comment section below. I love to read your comments. Right? Thank you. Thanks for watching.